The Mets garner a split of their home series against the Braves with a shutout win Thursday night. They're back in first place in the NL East, but they may have also lost another starting pitcher. MLB Game Night, every game, every night, and we are underway.
When that final out is made, you know it's time for Locked On MLB Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. Prepare to experience game day reactions like never before. Only on Locked On MLB Game Night. Your team every day.
He is Lindsay, Crosby, host of the Locked On Braves postcast. You can catch the latest Locked On Braves postcast available now and also available wherever you get your podcast. You can follow Lindsay on the X at Crosby Baseball. I'm Steve Lenox, host of the Locked On Red Sox postcast. Good news for Red Sox fans. They did not lose on Thursday. Back in action on Friday. You can follow me on social media on the X at Lenox on Baseball. Lindsay, Shota returns for the Cubs. We had plenty more shutouts for the second straight day. Clayton Kershaw closes in on a career milestone. He's not there yet, but he's close, and he may get it next time out. And the Rays stay red hot. Let's start with the Braves and Mets at Citi Field. Final game of the four-game series. Again, Lindsay's Locked On Braves postcast now available to view and available wherever you get your podcasts. Braves won the first two games of the series. They really need to win every series here to get back to that magic 500 number. They don't. They also get shut out. From the Braves' perspective, and we're going to hear from Ryan Finkelstein with the Mets' perspective in just a moment here, but shut out by not only Griffin Canning, but also the Mets bullpen came up big as he went down early with an injury.
Yeah, the frustrating thing for Atlanta here, 3 hits, all singles, 11 strikeouts, no walks, did not get a single free pass in this game. And the recipe to beating the Mets a couple times so far this year has been get the free passes, take advantage of them. When they beat Clay Holmes last week, they drew 9 walks and cashed in 5 of those for runs. The most frustrating part of all of the frustrating things is the fact that no Met starter in this series went more than 5 innings. One of them left in the 5th. One of them left, Griffin Canning, in the 3rd. This bullpen's been overworked, and yet Atlanta still couldn't make anything happen against them the end of today. So they're going to lick their wounds, head back to Atlanta. And, guess what? You get the Phillies in town this weekend. No rest for the weary for Atlanta here.
So the Mets win the final 2 games of the series. The Phillies, again, are sort of in that mode where they're sputtering just a bit. And we're going to get to the Phillies here in just a few minutes. But with that, I don't think the Mets are out of the doghouse here. They've won 2 in a row. Yes, they can feel good about that heading to Pittsburgh. But as you said, they're relying big time on their bullpen right now and another starter going down. We're going to hear right now from Ryan Finkelstein, Locked On Mets, as he talks about the win. And again, Griffin Canning going down early in this one.
After all of the craziness of the last couple weeks, the New York Mets are right back atop the NL East, standing alone in first place after another win against the Atlanta Braves. This is Ryan Finkelstein, the host of Locked On Mets, and there's a little bit of a somber feeling around this team right now because Griffin Canning could be lost to what appears to be an Achilles injury, so devastating for him in the midst of a career year to see him go down and just be laying on the field in the middle of this game. It was a brutal sight. The Mets bullpen, though, was incredible at picking up their fallen teammate. I mean, they just had an outstanding game to keep the Braves off the board. 6 1/3 scoreless from the Mets bullpen. It did not issue a single walk, only allowed 2 hits. Austin Warren, Daniel Nunez, those 2 guys ate up 4 1/3. So they really did carry the load for the Mets. And a big game by Pete Alonso with 3 hits helped contribute to a 4-run night for the Mets offense. It didn't have any home runs, but they didn't need to. They strung together hits, sac flies, RBI knocks, got the job done. And the Mets are able to split their 4-game set with the Braves. And again, because the Phillies got swept by the Astros, the New York Mets are in first place in the National League East, up by half a game. Big turnaround for this team over the last couple of days. We'll see if they can sustain it on tomorrow's show. Of course, I'll be talking about the fallout of the Canning injury, and we'll be looking ahead to the Mets' upcoming series against the Pirates.
Series against the Pirates, but again, I don't think they're out of the woods yet. They're going to maybe have to win some games here, 7-6, 9-7. The Pirates don't have much of an offense either, so it might not have to necessarily happen this weekend. On the other side,
Well, hang on.
found this. Go ahead.
Real quick, Mark Vientos is scheduled to come back for that Pirates series, so a little bit more offense there, but they're going to have to decide Brett Beatty or Ronnie Mauricio. One of those guys are going to have to go down. Both of them look pretty decent in the Brave series, so you're going to lose one of those guys to make the roster spot to bring Vientos back.
There's also the one guy that's coming off the bench. He's a lefty bat. So is Beatty, who could go down. But it's going to be an interesting 24 hours here. I feel like Mauricio needs to stay, almost as, you go with the hot hand right now. Matt Olson did extend his his on-base streak to 27 games, had a 2-out single against Edwin Diaz in the 9th inning. But Acuna's streak of reaching base 2 or more times in the game ends at 15. Gary Cohen gave that one on SNY late. How impressive is that streak for Acuna, doing it twice in a game, getting on base?
I mean, and doing it coming back from a catastrophic knee injury. I mean, since he came back, it took him a couple games, and since then he's been electric. And that's really been the catalyst for a lot of Atlanta's wins. He started stealing bases again as well. So even if he gets on with a single, it ends up getting him into scoring position, and then you can drive him in with a base hit. I don't think it's a coincidence that this series he took a step back from a batting average perspective. He didn't have any hits in either of the last 2 games, although he did walk twice yesterday. And they didn't win either game because Ronald's bat has been such a big part, and him getting on base in general has been a big part of what they've been able to do in the last month. So I think those things are connected.
Mets again split the series at home against the Braves. They're half game up on the Phillies in the NL East. The Phillies swept by the Houston Astros, and the Houston Astros got great pitching throughout the course of this series. It was Hunter Brown and the bullpen on Thursday. H-Town Wheelhouse with the details for the hot Houston Astros.
And just like that, the Phillies are swept out of Houston. Hello, I'm H-Town Wheelhouse here with Locked on Astros. What a series. 5 runs in 3 games, and you win all 3. That doesn't happen very often, folks. And the Astros continue to win close games against really strong opponents. Everybody was worried about this home series against the Phillies and then the Cubs, back-to-back 2 National League powerhouses. They took care of business. The Astros pitchers didn't make as many mistakes as the Phillies pitchers. The Astros hitters did just enough in the game yesterday. In Game 2, they actually were out-hit, but still they won. The Houston Astros take 3 from Philadelphia. They've got another tough National League opponent. Now, their best pitchers have already done their job for the week. The Astros bats will have to show up and show out because this Cubs offense has the 2nd most runs scored this year, and they average the 2nd most runs per game. The Astros have their work cut out for them. Kyle Tucker comes back to town. Remember to subscribe to Locked on Astros. We're your team every day.
They've got to feel awfully good. Yeah, they've got to feel awfully good about them right now, because I think a lot of people, Kyle Tucker, as you mentioned there, coming back to town. Not that you can't write off the Astros. You just can't.
Never.
But they believe in themselves so much, and they just, they find ways. And right now, everyone's looking up at them in that division.
And they single-handedly knocked Philly back out of first place in the East. I mean, it's not like they had this dominant series where they allowed 1 run in the entire series to a team like the Pirates or the White Sox or something like that. Like, they did it against a very good Phillies team that, yes, they don't have Bryce Harper right now, but still a very good Phillies team with Kyle Schwarber and Trey Turner and everybody else. So it's almost like it doesn't matter who they play. They just... Yeah, they know they're good. They know their pitching's good. And again, they've kind of done it out of nowhere. We knew Hunter Brown was good. We didn't know Hunter Brown was, 7 scoreless innings with nothing but singles and no walks with 9 punchies. I mean, the Astros are one of the hottest teams in baseball right now because they're confident. And that's hard to measure.
The Astros have to be a top 3 team when you have the conversation of what teams in baseball develop the best pitchers from their own system. They've got to be in the top 3.
I've always said recently said my Mount Rushmore for pitching development has kind of been like the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers. And I'm kind of like the Astros have to be on that top 4 as well. And then your second tier is like your Cleveland, your Tampa Bay, your Atlanta. But the Astros have to be on there. It doesn't matter if they draft them, if they international free agents, whatever they do. I think they lead baseball in complete games in the last couple seasons. They lead baseball in shutouts. They get
they let their guys go.
Yeah, they let their guys go, and these guys have the stuff and the endurance and everything to go 9 innings and to still keep a shutout going. And that's not something that every team has done or can do. So credit to the Astros for what they're doing over there.
We do have Connor Thomas here. Cam Smith did break the 1-1 tie with a two-out RBI single in the 8th inning for the Astros as they, again, complete the series sweep. Connor Thomas, Locked on Phillies. Listen carefully here. Maybe you can pick up Connor's what we call sarcasm.
Playing the parade, everybody. The Philadelphia Phillies scored a run for the first time in 26 innings. And they still lost. I'm Connor Thomas, your host of Locked on Phillies. I mean, great. You scored 1 in the series finale in Houston. You scored 1 run in the entire series. And I mean, you lost 2-1 today, 2-0 yesterday, 1-0 in game 1. It's just, what do you want the pitching staff to do? Sanchez was great. Wheeler was great. Ranger was great. I mean, the bullpen was not bad. Ryan Kerkering, he had 19 straight scoreless appearances leading up to today where he gave up the game-winning run for Houston. So I'm not going to kill him. It's just offense. What are you doing? I get it. You faced a good arm today, but y'all better have been saving up some runs for Atlanta because this cannot continue. The offense needs to wake up and wake up in a big way. I don't know how they do it, but we'll try and figure it out on tomorrow's episode of Locked On Phillies.
As a Braves
Go
fan,
ahead, Lindsay.
we don't need you to save the runs for us. You only need like 2 to beat Atlanta. You don't even need to save the runs for us. Just please don't do that to us.
Well, with all the shutouts the last couple of days here, I mean, runs are at a premium. And it could very well go into the weekend with Atlanta and Philadelphia and a couple of other series.
It really feels like this is that time in the calendar heading into the All-Star break where a lot of your position players, especially your everyday starters, have been out there every single game and the fatigue's getting to them. And like, yes, most of them are going to get breaks. Some of them are going to go to the All-Star game and have to do more stuff, more travel, more games and everything. But for the most part, most of these guys need a break. They need the break that's going to come. But until that, right now, I mean, it kind of feels like the under's the right move to take because the fatigue is real for these guys at this point.
Cubs in St. Louis dropped the first 2, win the final 2. Shota Imanaga returned to the rotation. That's a great sign for the Cubs. We hear from our guy Sam Olber, Locked on Cubs, as they take the finale and manage the split of the series against the Cards.
Love Sam.
Well, that feels a little bit better. Feel pretty good. I'm Sam Olber from the Locked On Cubs podcast, and the Chicago Cubs salvage a split. A very nice split considering you lost the first 2 games, the second game being a very difficult loss. Shota Imanaga return to the mound was really good. Cubs shut out the Cardinals for the second consecutive day. This time by a score of 3-0. It was a quiet day for the most part for the offense. They stole a run there in the top of the 9th with Pete Crow Armstrong and Dansby Swanson. Michael Busch hit a home run. Ian Happ had a bases-loaded walk. But the story of this game was Imanaga's return. He looked pretty sharp. Bullpen held it down. Little drama late with Wilson Contreras, of course. But the Cubs got it done, split the series, and now have a 4.5-game lead over St. Louis and a 3-game lead over Milwaukee. But feeling a little bit better as they head to Houston for a tough road weekend series. Nice win for the Cubs. Nice salvage.
And that is a series we'll certainly be paying attention to this weekend with the Cubs down in Houston against the Astros. Both teams playing well, and both teams right now division leaders.
What kind of response do you think Kyle Tucker gets in Daikon Park? It's got to be a good one, right? Like, he didn't choose to leave.
Yeah, I think Astro fans, I give them a lot of credit. I do. I go back to '86 when the Mets and Astros played in the National League Championship Series. Yes, I would expect positive response. Now, if he gets a base hit in his first at bat or hits a home run in the series, I think they get it, right?
As long as the first one's happy, that's the sign of how they feel about you. After that, it's fair play. But the first one's always the sign of how they feel about you.
So real quick, your thoughts on this. Daniel Palencia, Sam alluded to it, gave up a double and then hit Wilson Contreras in the 9th. And he came back, struck out the next 3 hitters. Palencia, a little emotion on the mound. Wilson Contreras took exception to it. The benches did empty. There was a lot of yapping back and forth. Nothing really materialized from it. But Wilson Contreras was somewhat contrite after this one was over.
Yeah, he apologized. He said he was fired up. He was in his emotions. He's like, I don't want to fight them. I apologize to them. And that's the way listen, these guys understand when this, like on the field, the competitive juices take over, something like that happens. Your first thought's to take it personally. And when he had some time to cool off, he's like, no, I was the one that was wrong. And he apologized for it. I like seeing the guys get fired up. I do think trying to fight on a baseball field is dumb, but I like the guys getting fired up. And I think this has handled the right way where they jawed, nobody fought, and then he apologized afterwards and I was wrong. He took responsibility for it, and everybody moves on. Yeah.
That's called policing yourselves. And hey, Cubs, Cardinals, things have gotten out of hand in the past, right? One team that is red hot right now and one team that's going in the other direction. The Rays finished off their series sweep against the Royals, who just can't win at Kauffman Stadium. We've got details next. It's MLB Game Night.
Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're doing HVAC, plumbing, or electrical work, Supply House is a reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. With a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400-plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. If you're a DIYer who needs help with an order, Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. For the trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage of this, and now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today, supplyhouse.com/TM, and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. And anybody, DIYers and professionals, can use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's at supplyhouse.com.
Back at it, MLB Game Night, every game, every night. Lindsay, the Rays right now, sometimes they just do it with smoke and mirrors, but they finish off the series sweep. Shane Baz, 8 innings of scoreless baseball against a Royals offense that just isn't there right now, yet again. But Baz is one of those guys for me. He's a legit number 2. Not only right now for the Rays, but he's a legit number 2 for years to come. He's got a ton of talent, and I really feel like this year could be the complete turning point for him.
Yeah, he's really struggled early this year, but he's one of great pitching development organization. He was nicked up a little bit, but he's one of those guys that can kind of reinvent himself on the fly. His most used pitch tonight was the cutter. He got 6 whiffs on his cutter. He went like cutter, 4-seam, knuckle curve as like a kind of equal usage of all 3, and then threw in some changeups. But he'll do different things in different outings, and that's the kind of the tell of a pitcher who's like uniquely talented. Is none of his tools are exceptional, but he can change what he does and remake himself from start to be successful. Credit to the Rays for helping him build that. And then if he can emerge and McClanahan can make it back, like we said earlier, by the postseason, they can really be something.
The Rays, like Houston, stingy with the runs in their midweek series, gave up just 1 run in the series, take all 3 in Kansas City against the Royals. The Royals lost 6 in a row. Then they won 4 straight. Now they're on a current 5-game losing streak. And I read this in the game recap. They've lost 10 in a row at home. That is brutal.
I know it's a tough ballpark to hit for power in, but this offense has to be better. And they did a lot of it. It felt like smoke and mirrors last year with a lot of what they did, like the pitching staff. It felt like they all kind of overachieved and they scored enough runs. The pitching staff has taken that step back, and now we see what happens when they don't have that exceptional pitching staff to help them win all these close games. It's just 10 shutouts. They have 4 total runs in this 5-game losing streak. Like it doesn't matter how good your pitching is. If you score 4 runs in 5 games, you're at least going to lose one of them, if not multiple.
Yeah, Brandon Lau, Junior Caminero go back-to-back in the 6th inning, and the Rays take the finale 4-0. Again, they get strong starting pitching from Shane Baz, but with that, they're always a team that sort of ekes out victories. They're not going to have a lot of 5+ run victories on their resume. Occasionally, but more it's the pitching and the defense and the fundamentals that Kevin Cash has them, again, through the organization, come up, be ready to go, make the plays as needed.
Some of that could change, though. Junior Caminero already has 20 home runs on the year.
Yeah.
Only one Rays hitter in franchise history has broken 40 homers in a season. That was Carlos Pena in 2007. So Caminero
Okay.
gets one hot streak here, continues this pace. He could set the Rays single season record for homers at age 23. I mean,
Yeah.
it's definitely they're getting lots of great performances. Jonathan Aranda has the highest batting average in franchise history so far at 331 with a 414 on base. Like they're getting great performances from the offense. It's just like, to your point, it's just not a lot of run scoring, but maybe Caminero can push them that direction.
Steinbrenner Field, hitter-friendly ballpark.
There you go.
During the summer months. You mentioned Carlos Pena. Instantly, I think Brad Pitt, Moneyball, Billy Bean, all of that stuff, because his name was, he had a big part in the movie, big part in the book, more so than Miguel Tejada and all those great pitchers. I always love bringing that up. Let's move on. Rays again pick up the victory in Baltimore this weekend against the Orioles. Royals home for 3 more. Doesn't get any easier, as they'll see some strong pitching from the Dodgers this weekend at Kauffman Stadium. Speaking of the Dodgers, they complete their series sweep in Colorado against the Rockies, who are now 18-63 on the season. I just wanted to mention that. But Clayton Kershaw, 6 scoreless, 4-0 with the win, struck out 5. And he is closing in on a career milestone, as I would say next start, 2,997 career strikeouts. Next scheduled start Wednesday at home against the White Sox, could reach that magic number of 3,000 Ks in his home Dodger uniform.
I'm putting on my conspiracy theory hat. They took him out on purpose. He was at 69. He was at 69 pitches through 6. He could have gone more. He could have thrown more pitches. They took him out on purpose so he would get the record at home.
I make a big deal of this number, and we're not going to cut in on it nationally, but he's going to reach 3,000 career strikeouts. He's a Hall of Famer
Already.
But he's going to be the 20th pitcher all time to reach that number of career strikeouts. That sort of just puts it that much more into how impressive it is for me. Am I making too much of it? Or, again, he'll be the 20th all time.
We like big round numbers. I think, obviously, to your point, already a Hall of Famer, MVP, 3 Cy Youngs. He's won the batting title. I'm sorry, the ERA title 5 times. Has a triple crown on his belt. Does hitting 3,000 maybe take him from a Hall of Famer to a first ballot and in the realm, he won't get it, but in the realm of 95% vote total? Like, I don't think he'll be unanimous. There's so few of those. But if he hits 3,000 strikeouts, to your point, 20 times in history, it would be 20 times. Does that push him? He probably was already a first ballot guy, but is he now a 95% slam dunk? Go ahead and fit him for the bust and everything next week?
If he does reach that number, does that take away from pitchers who are in the Hall of Fame who are, did have better careers in terms of numbers and overall performance? And I'm not taking anything away from his performance, but if he's in at 95% or more, what's that say about the guys? I don't know what Koufax was. I don't know what Seaver was. I don't know what Gibson was. But I would take any of those 3 in a Game 7 over Clayton Kershaw.
If you look at Baseball Reference has a great thing where they show all the different grading systems. The average Hall of Famer under the Hall of Fame monitor rating is like around a 100. He's at 211. It's the 21st greatest pitching career of all time. So okay. I think depending on how, like under the black ink measurement thing that they have, it's the 20th best. Under the Hall of Fame standard measurement, it's the 14th best. Under Jaws, it's the 21st best. I think we maybe lose sight of he probably has a case to argue he's a top 25 starting pitcher in baseball history. Yeah. And maybe so, like, I don't think it takes away from anybody else if he gets to that 95% because he's been so clean off the field. I mean, he has a Clemente Award, and I think part of it's just many people think about his injury struggle years and not his dominant years.
Yeah. The people who don't like the win-loss record, you can mute me for a moment. But 28 career wins now against the Rockies, most against any club, and now 27 against the Giants as well. So thank you, Baseball Reference, for making me smarter with that. Blue Jays win the finale against the Guardians in Cleveland 6-0, take the series 2-1. We hear from Jeff Ellis, Locked On Guardians. Jeff is going to stress the positives here for the Guardians. And also there was some retaliation in this series as well.
The Cleveland Guardians lose a game, but split the yearly series with the Toronto Blue Jays. It was an ugly affair. Let's get into it. I'm Jeff Ellis of Locked On Guardians, and it's time to discuss a game that most fans probably would rather forget. Let's start positive. Let's go with that. Tanner Bybee had a rough third inning, but other than that, it was a strong performance by him again. Another strong start by this rotation. In that inning, he did hit 2 batters, which led to a retaliatory hit on Jose Ramirez later in the game. They had also hit Vladdy the day before, so I understand. If you pitch inside, you got to be able to do it without hitting players. But to go back, the bigger story in that inning is Kyle Manzardo with 3 errors. The often DH looked like a DH playing first base for this team, unfortunately. The offense could get nothing going. They had 2 very odd hits, a trapped ball and like a check swing, 2 other walks, and then a hit batter. Nothing going for them offensively. The errors doomed them, though. They had a chance. I don't know if you can say they had a chance with no offense. The starting pitching went well. The bullpen, not so much. And the Cleveland Guardians split the series with the Toronto Blue Jays, which could have playoff implications. Check out Locked On Guardians for more.
Jeff, Locked On Guardians right there. Real quick, Kevin Gausman in this one on the other side for the Blue Jays. If we get reaction there, he was terrific over 8 scoreless.
This is the classic Kevin Gausman. This has been the recipe for Toronto for a while when they've been good. It's just shut down veteran starting pitching. The offense can do enough. They can win games like this. Guardians aren't talented enough to have a bunch of defensive errors. They got to do more than that. They had 2 hits the entire game. They got to do more.
The Marlins finish off a series sweep in the Bay against the Giants. We're going to hear from Jeremiah Geiger as we continue with our third segment, MLB Game Night. Every game, every night.
The NBA draft just wrapped and summer sports are in full swing. Whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. Because you're already following the action, why not make it a little more thrilling and engaging? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned on the beach. If you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started.
Number 3, our final 3 games from Thursday night. Steve Lenox, Lindsay Crosby, MLB Game Night, every game, every night. I'll take the onus is on me on this one. Tigers Athletics. Tigers take the finale at home 8-0. I wish I had more time here, but Dietrich Enns, 34-year-old lefty from Frankfort, Illinois, 5 scoreless, ends in the big leagues at 26 years old back in 2017 with the Twins, and the big leagues with the Rays at 30 in 2021. Couple of years in Japan, last year in South Korea, where he's a 13-game winner. Torkelson, Gleyber Torres both hit home runs, but the Tigers just find these pitchers. I'm not going to say scrap heap, but that's a great story in Dietrich Enns.
I'm excited to see him in 4 more years at age 38 when he gets his 4th call up and see who he's playing for at that time. But this is a team that can't really do anything wrong at this point. The Tigers organization, top to bottom, whether it's the broadcaster, everybody's just been killing it for the last year and a half. And Javi Baez is an all-star finalist. Baez is an all-star finalist. Like, they can't do anything wrong right now.
Tigers, again, take 2 out of 3 in the series. Athletics off to New York for 3 against the Yankees, conclude their trip with 3 in Tampa, Florida against the Rays. The Tigers are home this weekend. They've got 3 against the Minnesota Twins. Mariners Twins, speaking of the Twins, Brandon Warren, Locked On Twins with the details of the Twins taking the finale at home against Seattle on Thursday afternoon.
After a rain delay of more than 4 hours, the Twins got the bats going and beat the Mariners at Target Field on Thursday afternoon/evening, 10-1. I'm Brandon Warren, and this is your Locked On Twins post-game minute. The Twins hung a snowman on the Mariners in the 6th inning. 8 guys came around to score on homers by Brooks Lee and Matt Wallner off M's reliever Zach Pop, plus a bunch of other stuff. It was a 5-and-dive game for both starters, Simeon Woods Richardson and Emerson Hancock, with Trevor Larnach's 2-run homer off the ladder in the 5th inning, opening the scoring for both sides. And then the Twins popped off in the 6th. Here's something to watch with SWR. He threw more splitters today, 8, than he has in any start since he started throwing the pitch about 6 weeks ago in games. Fun fact, Brock Stewart is now one of 6 relievers who've thrown at least 200 pitches in the 6th inning this season. He's 5th in MLB with 202. The guys ahead of him are Jake Bird, Nick Mears, Scott Barlow, and Husker Brazoban. Quite a list there. Up next, Twins send David Festa, or maybe an opener, to the mound against former Twins prospect Sawyer Gipson-Long in the series opener with the Tigers on Friday evening at Comerica Park. First pitch, 6:10 p.m. We'll have full coverage of it for you. This is Locked On Twins.
Underrated hero here, Brooks Lee.
Yeah.
Guess the last time he had back-to-back games without a base hit.
Ooh, I'm going to say few and far between, but I'll say late May.
May 26th and 27th. His batting average has gone from 230 to 277 in that stretch. He had one hit today, and it lowered his batting average. That's how
Very
good
nice.
Brooks Lee has been recently.
They're going to have to be good. Lee and the rest of that lineup going to need to be good this weekend in Detroit as they will face Casey Mize on Saturday, then Tarek Skubal on Sunday.
Ooh.
That's the Sunday night game on ESPN to wrap up the weekend. I'm looking forward to that one.
What a great game on something. I always love when MLB, we saw the ratings from Skeens Mizorowski this week. I always love when MLB can get great pitchers in national windows where everybody can watch. That's a great matchup there.
And I kind of looked at it at the beginning of and this was planned long ago, so they didn't know Skubal was going to be lined up to pitch on a Sunday and Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. But I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, okay, Twins and Tigers in Detroit. Yeah, I understand. Get the Tigers on there. And almost I'm like Skubal, like you said, that's going to drive ratings right there. Mariners move on to Texas, open up weekend series against the Rangers. The Marlins. We wrap up with the Marlins here. Let's hear from Jeremiah Geiger as they pull off the series sweep in San Francisco against the Giants, and they were impressive over the course of this sweep.
Marlins destroy the Giants 12-5, and they get the series sweep. It's Jeremiah Geiger from the Locked On Marlins podcast. Things were heated early as Hayden Birdsong hit Otto Lopez. Clayton McCullough got ejected from the ballgame in the first inning, and that lit a fire under the Marlins. Kyle Stowers, a 3-run jack. Augustine Ramirez, a 2-run homer. The Marlins were up 5-0, but the Giants tied it up. They put up 5 runs unanswered, but it wasn't meant to be because this was the Marlins' day. Offensively, they were on fire. They put up 3 more in the 5th, 4 in the 8th. Everyone was contributing. Eric Wagman had himself a good game. Augustine Ramirez with 3 hits. He finished a triple short of the cycle. Man, it feels good. A series sweep. Let's go Fish.
Man, Jeremiah's got some optimism there.
All 9 Marlins starters had a hit, and 8 of the 9 scored a run. He's not kidding when he says everybody contributed here.
Hey, they've won a season high 4 in a row. But what I like the most about this team, it's a young team. Clayton McCullough, on-the-job training right now as a manager, right? They've won 6 straight on the road. That's outstanding. I don't care who it's against. That's terrific.
That's a sign that he has his team prepped and comfortable going into an unfamiliar environment and has young players playing loose and with confidence. We all expect him to trade Sandy Alcantara between now and the trade deadline. But if they can get back some of these hurt guys, they just lost Max Meyer for the season to, I think, hip surgery. They can get back some of these hurt starters for next year. This can be a really dangerous Marlins team.
Yeah, and I really want to put them in that category of they're going to be a pain in the neck to play second after the All-Star break because again they're building slowly, and if they can find a ways to beat you on the road, 500 team on the road, play winning baseball at home. Maybe the fans start coming back, not in droves, but maybe they come back, one at a time, perhaps. Hey, that's a wrap for us. Lindsay, one final thought.
Any day you can watch big inning during the workday, that's a good day of baseball. I love how they set the schedule up today.
Hey, subscribe to the Locked On MLB YouTube channel. Hit the notification button, and that's going to alert you as to when we go live each and every night throughout the Major League Baseball season. MLB Game Night, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, and available wherever you get your podcast. MLB Game Night, every game, every night.